One of the questions I hear most from aspiring cinematographers is, how do I make a living in cinematography? What does it take to become successful? In this video, I'll break down the 3 essential steps to building a career in cinematography. And my guess is you may not like number 3. Let's dive right in. I hear from aspiring cinematographer on a pretty regular basis, and typically when people contact me, the main thing they ask for are advices on how to launch their career or how they can be successful in cinematography. And for me, it comes down to 3 essential steps. Number 1, diversify your revenue source. So even if you only want to work in one area of cinematography, like wedding films, corporate film, or even feature film, you need to multiply your revenue sources. You need to find multiple ways of finding new clients. And so that's going to come through advertising, but also referrals, or working as a freelancers for other individuals in the business. And that's where I think we can really have an impact and really elevate our career, is by working in many different capacity on many other projects than what we think we should be doing. So if you're into wedding films and that's what you want to do, there might be some benefits in you assisting other cinematographers that maybe do other work than just wedding, and you can learn from them, you can generate revenue. Like, it's pretty common for many of us, and again, I've been in the business for over 20 years, to work as freelancers on some of our colleagues and competitors, and to work for them as freelancers. And so I've done kind of everything in that field. I still today often work as either a camera operator, a technical director, or a producer, or whatever capacity some of my colleague needs, I will freelance in that capacity. And in the beginning, it's especially important because not only do you generate new revenue by working and assisting others, but you also learn new skills. So for me, I never was interested in working in the wedding industry, but for almost 6 years, I assisted somebody who was very successful in that field. And I would go every weekend and work long hours as an assistant, just carrying equipment, setting up equipment, helping shoot once in a while, learning all those skill sets, learning how to interact with clientele. And I did that for, I think, 6 years. And those were great stepping stone into the next step of my career, which led me into working for freelancing for network news. And so there's no direct pathway into success, regardless of which kind of cinematography you want to do. A lot of people want to work in feature film, including my son. And I keep telling him all the time, like, there is no blueprint on how you can achieve working in feature film. There is just hustle, and it's just working all kind of jobs to get all kind of experience and meeting the right people. So go out there, find all the different avenues possible for you to not only generate income, but also gain experience. Number 2, network. It goes with number 1. You have to build those relationships. You need to get to know others in the industry. And the only way to do that is going out there. And there's all kind of ways you can network, but really for me, my main advice to people is in-person networking events. It's very important that you get to meet people face to face so that you can really get a feel, and they can get a feel for who you are, not just some online chats. And so go out there, find the local networking events, the different association in your area for professionals, and attend those events, but also be proactive, especially as the aspiring cinematographer, the younger one maybe in the room. You need to take the first step. You need to take the initiative of going towards others and introduce yourself and ask questions. And I know it's not easy for some of us. Like, I still attend as many networking events as I can, and it's not very comfortable for me. That's not something that comes natural to me, but it's important to go out there, introduce yourself, get to know people, understand what they're doing in the industry, and just start to slowly position yourself in building relationship that eventually, hopefully, can develop into revenue sources. Number 3, and this is the most important one for me, and I think this is the one that maybe a lot of people are gonna not want to hear, but you have to become an expert in your field. And the only way to do that is you need to study your craft. You need to become an expert. You need to learn the technical side of cinematography. Even if you want to be a director, and most of the people I talk to, they want to be directors, and that's great. And I hope that you all become the directors you think you can become. But even as a director, learn the technical side of cinematography. It will give you so much more power, so much more respect, so much more expertise and trust with your clients, with the cinematographers that you work with the gaffers that you work with, even with the actors that you work with. You have to learn the technical side of cinematography. And it's tricky. It's something that didn't come natural to me as well. I used the fact that I was a creative person as an excuse to not learn the technical side of cinematography. A lot of time, I was not very interested in why this particular light and how to set it and where to position it in order to achieve the look that we wanted. I just was like, well, this is the look that I want. You guys figure out where that needs to go. And it's fine. But as you learn the technical side, you become a more empowered director or a more empowered cinematographer, because you still can rely on people that are more experienced than you are in cinematography. But now you can speak their language. You can understand the limitation. You can understand the possibilities. So your creativity is no longer limited by your understanding of the craft. So it's very important that you continue to educate yourself as much as possible on the technical side of the business. You also need to learn the psychology of visual communication. That's something that took me forever. And eventually, when I started digging into different people, different experts that talk about psychology of visual communication or neurocinematic, for example, reading some of those articles, learning some of that terminology, made me a more powerful video professional, because I can now speak to my clientele in a very educated way on solving their problems. Because you have to understand that as a cinematographer, especially in my field of corporate films, all it is my clients have a need to achieve a certain result, and we're going to provide a solution using visual communication. And so everything we do is designed towards achieving the goal that my clients have. And so if I'm not able to verbalize that, if I'm not able to listen to what their goals are and then explain how we're going to use visual communication to then achieve those goals, get those results, then why should my clients hire me? So it's very important that you learn other crafts outside of just cinematography in order to become a more rounded and better cinematographer. So I just mentioned it, but it's very important that you learn the language of experts, right? Like if you're able, again, to verbalize some of those concepts, whether it's psychology, the technical side of things, if you're able to use the words and the terms that those experts are using, it will bring you a ton of credibility with your crew and with your clients. I remember the first time I was able to communicate with my gaffer on a very technical way using their terms. It made not only the process a lot faster and efficient, but it really elevated how the respect that the gaffer had for me as a cinematographer, because we were speaking the same language. And so educate yourself again on all those terminology. And so it's watching videos, it's reading articles, it's going on sets to watch others work and really soak in all of that information so that you can then use it into your own way, into your own projects. So I hope that made sense, and I wish you guys all the best, all the success. If you have any questions, use the comments to ask anything. But thank you so much for watching this video until the end. And as a token of my appreciation, I placed a link in the description for a free camera setting cheat sheet. If you're not super familiar with filming in manual, go download the cheat sheet. It will be a great way to start kind of understanding how those manual setting works. So go check out the description in the video below. Thanks again, and happy filming.